Hey, also, we lost a couple greats recently in the business. Wayne Lewis of Atlantic Starr, who you did
Yeah,
dates with, and Sly up in the Bay Area, Sly Stone.
yeah.
Did you have encounters with Sly, or of course you did Wayne Lewis?
Well, yeah. Well, I'll start with Wayne Lewis, and another good friend of ours, Chicago Mike. But Wayne Lewis and I were on stage a few weeks ago
Mm,
at the Maple House in Atlanta,
wow.
the Atlantic Star function, and it was he's such a pleasurable, cool, stylish guy. He's a stylist type of a guy.
Right.
Just his style when he moved from one side of the room to the other. There's a process there. Wayne
Mm,
Lewis was just a very stylish musician, and that whole show to lose both him and Chicago Mike, we were
yeah.
all
Yeah.
backstage together, and then to go home and these guys are gone. It kind of a I don't know. I don't go with the omen theory. I don't
Mm,
believe in that, but
right.
it was a little too close for comfort, and it's very very painful. Um, you know, what's his name? Dwayne Wiggins of Tony a
Yeah.
few months
Just
ago.
right.
Um, Very painful feeling to be at my age and have these guys so much younger than me pass on. It's just
Yeah.
scary, very painful, and you lose a powerhouse like that.
Hmm.
Um, and we can all think back, to Luther and Rick, and you can just go one after the other all the way back, and
Right.
Michael Jackson, of course, Prince.
Yeah.
You think, how in the world do we move on and keep
Mm,
moving on? How do we keep going? And you just then the answer to your own question pops in your head. You just do.
yeah.
They expect you to, and your fans are expecting you to,
Hmm.
and you just put one foot in front of the other, and you keep on going till you can't go no more.
Yeah. You got the next show, and and your voice. I wanted to ask you the secret of you keeping your voice. You're still hitting those notes. I mean, on Love's Train, that's not an easy one,
Yeah.
I'm sure, to sing. What are you doing to make it happen like that?
Uh, let me delay your question for a second because
Okay.
I wanted to touch a little more on Sly Stone, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sylvester Stewart, uh, aka Sly Stone, and I had the pleasure of attending the same junior college as him, a few years behind him.
Oh,
And
okay.
of course, the first time I ever heard of a Sly Stone was on KDIA radio, Lucky
Mhm.
13. Had no idea this man was so in touch with my hometown of Vallejo, had so many roots laid down there, and I had no idea he was even a musician until he played his own record on KDIA.
Mm.
Okay.
Wow.
And when he played his music on KDIA, and of course it was such a hit. It was such a big hit. We were kind of in a little vacuum because we didn't know. We figured, well, wow, he's playing his own music, and I'm sure it's going to be a hit here in the Bay Area. But no, it was a hit all over the country, right?
Wow. Yeah.
And I don't know what else I can say. I only had the chance to meet Sly one time in the studio. I never met him backstage. I never met him out and about, but I had a chance to meet him in the studio one
Mhm.
time, and things had kind of died down a little bit for him, but he was still Sly. I think, his hit at the time that we were in the studio. Um, um, the one where he sounds like he's half asleep. One girl,
Yeah.
da, da, da,
Right.
he
Yeah.
says in the blood. It's a
Yeah.
family affair. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was on the radio. I remember as a hit while we were in the studio with him in Hollywood, California, and
Mhm.
we were just guests. We were just guests, and he knew all about us. He knew all about Confunction, and we talked Vallejo and everything. And all I can say, man, is that there are some people that um, are, yes, gone too soon. In Sly's case, Sly was gone too soon years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if anybody should have been still out here jamming along with Smokey, Gladys, Patty, it should have been Sylvester Stewart, right?
Yeah,
And of course, he got out of here, and he was doing had a pretty rough life
yeah, yeah,
going on, and so we love him, and our hats are off to the career of Sylvester Stewart, Sly and the Family Stones.
yeah. I had one chance to see him live. It was Jocelyn Brown, Bobby Womack, and Sly Stone. I saw Bobby Womack and Jocelyn. Sly, it was so long that he was going to come on stage. I left, and I don't even know if he made the gig. It was during that era,
Yeah,
solo
yeah,
era. Yeah,
he had such a musical influence over many groups. Our song "Fun, Fun, Fun,"
Mhm.
we got the idea from one of his songs with the same title.
Wow.
Uh, and you can make it if you try. Fun. All these things were in our musical heads as we began to start our recording career. So yeah, we began to hire had a very driving, stomping beat, and we wound up doing "Chase Me." Um, they
Mhm.
weren't so much similar as that, but we did get the idea from just keep the hammer hitting, going and going and going, and people eventually they'll respond to that. And so yeah, we learned a lot from Sly.